Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to another Dojo Live recap show. It's Monday. It's Monday, February 7th, 2022. And we are recapping 4 live shows from last week. We had 4 of them. Joining me is Kim Lantis in Hermosillo, Mexico. I'm Tulio Sergusa, broadcasting from sunny Southern California. Welcome to the show. So if you've missed any Dojo Live show, just go on dojo.live. That's our URL. Pretty easy, right? Dojo.live. That's it. Go there and you'll find hundreds of interviews with amazing CEOs and chief technology officers of the up-and-coming technologies companies you need to know about. So let's talk about 4 interviews we had that you need to know about. The first one was we talked with Dan Gusz, who's the CEO at Lloyd, about a modern approach to career support. Then we spoke on Tuesday morning, bridging the gap between the next one was bridging the gap between the physical and digital world with Daniel Choi, who's the CEO at Sequoia Games. And we had a design thinking segment show that was design thinking in complex environments with Mark Bruno, who's the VP of product at Sensible Weather. And finally, on Thursday at noon, we had how mobile games will drive growth in the future with Tom Hammond, who's the CEO at UserWise. 4 shows recapped in about 10 minutes. So let's see if we can make that happen. Kim, which one of these 4 stood out for you the most and why? Maybe we may not be able to cover all 4, but we'll do our best to cover the ones that maybe we remember.
Right.
You know,
well,
old
like I
age.
say every week, I think every show is unique and every show is worth watching. I love the guests that we're able to compile here on Dojo Live. I mean, with Dan Gusz, I think what I really appreciate about Lloyd is how it makes career paths digestible. I think I'm at this place in my life, whether that's working from home with kids, COVID, pandemic, whatever, where I just feel like I don't have time for that. And so I think we all deserve, right, to keep our career paths in mind. And I really appreciate how their approach is like with this coaching of what do you need to be working on this week to get where you want to go in, I don't know, 5 years from now. So I really think that the digestibility of it is really attractive. Of course, Sequoia Games and Dan Choi, their tech is just fascinating. I was very impressed with this merge of the physical world with the digital world and how you're literally able to see physical game pieces come to life via a phone app. And I just thought that was great. One of the things that he mentioned was, with video games, how much better can the graphics get, right? We're already now able to see wrinkles on foreheads and drops of sweat and whatever. So it's like, I really think he's onto something with what's next, perhaps, in the gaming world. Then we moved on to the design thinking. And I think what I really liked with Mark Bruno's show was his willingness to be vulnerable and say, at the very beginning of a product, there might be a level of embarrassment or like, is this good enough? Or this sense of like, I don't know what we're doing. Are we onto something or not? And I think just the ability to admit to something that is completely, I'm sure, normal, and then to see that come full circle into a successful product, I think is really exciting. And then we left off with more gaming, and that was with UserWise and Tom Hammond. And I think it's really fun to see tools to help games get better, right? And really, in a lot of ways, the way we're organizing things, still strange as it is with spreadsheets, and to be able to kind of bridge that and make it so that there's this personalization element easier to accomplish when you're building out a game, I think is great. So that's my little recap.
Yeah, I liked every show. In the interest of time, I'm not sure I'm going to cover all of them, but the one thing that stood out, you made an interesting comment about the design thinking show we had with Mark Bruno of Sensible. And rooted in design thinking is the use of empathy. Empathy for the end user, the customer, the employee, shaping the experience that people are going to have, not just the transactional need to I need a car, right? Well, that's a transaction, but the feeling I'm going to get from purchasing that car and having that particular car, that's more of an emotional satisfaction, right? So rooted in that is empathy. And you can't really achieve that kind of intimacy with clients and even employees if you're not willing to be vulnerable, and if you're not willing to first set the example of, we've got this idea, we're not sure it's right, we're kind of embarrassed by some of this stuff, but we'd love to get your feedback. And that opens up sort of a way to get feedback without having walls up, right? You set the example as a company of taking down the walls and saying, hey, we don't have it all together, but we'd love to get there, and we value your input on how we can get there. So great example of that. In my opinion, that vulnerability makes a company very, very powerful, and individual will practice that also become very powerful because it creates a space for opening up. And then definitely the technology with Daniel Choi at Sequoia Games. I've never been an ideas guy. I think tried startups a couple of times, but I'm more like the guy who comes in and figures out how to accelerate someone else's idea.
Mhm.
But in sitting through hundreds of interviews with amazing technology luminaries, you sometimes get ideas. Like I watched him show us these characters holograph come to life from these physical hexagon cards that are basically the reinvention of sports
Flexagon.
cards, right? And they came to life and they were interactive. And I started thinking, goodness, that could be the future of education. That could be the future of training. So many different applications that can be utilized that way, right? Which gamifies learning. And so it's just wonderful to see how some technologies literally will significantly improve our lives. The ability to sit in your house with a holographic teacher standing there and talking with you and teaching you and interacting and showing you something at your own pace. It's nice to do it via Zoom, but this is like a whole different level of experience. So let's hope in the future we see more of that, and good applications on even sending like a greeting card. Could you imagine being able to send a greeting card? It's like a little hologram message. Someone gets a physical card, they open it, and they see through their phone like a hologram of yourself saying, happy anniversary or something along those lines. So there's so many applications from that. It's very encouraging to watch these shows. And of course, all the other ones were awesome as well. So if you've missed them, don't fret. Just go on dojo.live. That's the URL. There's even a search box on dojo.live. You can type in keyword that interests you: artificial intelligence, travel technology, health tech, whatever interests you, you'll find it. And it's nice to hear it directly from the people creating the future. You can read a report. Those are nice, not knocking Gartner and all these guys. They're very valuable. Or you can hear directly from the guys creating the future what's going on. So check it out. What do we got coming up this week, Kim? I think we have, we're short on shows this week, but we will have a rebroadcast every day.
Last
What do we
week
got?
was a full house, and this week it's a bit of a slow week, but that's all right. It's going to be a good show. This week's show is going to be happening on Wednesday, February 9th at 12 o'clock Pacific. And we will be talking with Vikram Chalana, who is the CEO of Pictory AI. And this is Messages to Video, a path to quick engagement. How AI can help turn anyone into a video editor and a prolific video content marketer, right? And that's something we've learned. People like videos, people like graphics. So this is going to be a good one to see how to apply that in business.
So come back, check out the live show on Wednesday, but every day we'll have a show at 12 o'clock Pacific. There'll be a rebroadcast of some show we've done over the years, hundreds of shows, plenty of content, plenty of opportunities to learn what's happening. So dojo.live. Did I say that enough times, Kim? Dojo.live.
Maybe one more.
Thanks, guys. See you again soon. Don't forget, dojo.live.
Bye.